Hello guys, I hope you guys are healthy and safe and well. We are back here with another video. Yes, I am pumping, but this is now a part of my life, so like, you know, it's just gonna be here. But I wanted to do a quick video on how breastfeeding is going, the entire journey. But before I even get started, if you guys are not already subscribed, pause and press subscribe down below. Along with that, hit the bell notifications link so you know when a new video is going live. Okay. So, the other week I posted my 3-week stash, should I say, of like me pumping and just the milk that I've been getting. And I've gotten a lot of questions of just how breastfeeding is going, how long do I plan on breastfeeding, those type of things. So I thought I would do like a quick easy video instead of responding to everyone on just how that's going and kind of how I'm feeling, etc. So it's going to be kind of just a random little rant / chit chat, but the girls are behind the video and my husband as well to ask questions that either they've seen me be asked or whatever. So if they jump in, that is why. Okay, so if you've been here and if you haven't been here, this is my second time breastfeeding. A lot of people are asking, are you breastfeeding or pumping? Let me clear that up. Breastfeeding is pumping and nursing, so they're both the same thing. I am nursing and I am pumping at the same time. I am doing both, and I did both after the first week and a half, I want to say. I started pumping after the first week and a half. Most people say you should wait until around week 3 or 4 or even 5, 6 for your milk to come in, like your regular supply to come in, because there is a fear that if you pump too early, you will have an oversupply and you will start to be engorged, and that's never a good thing. It hurts, your boobs are hard, you produce milk faster than you can really keep up with, which can also lead to infection, mastitis, all those type of things that cause fever and all the things that you don't want, which is why people advise against pumping so early. So with Harper, I started pumping around week 3, I want to say, and it was really only because I had been advised to wait until around 5, 6, but by week 3 I was like, somebody has got to help me feed this kid, and I just didn't like the anxiety and the pressure of being the only one that could feed her. So I started pumping so that my family could feed her breast milk. Oh, Zuzu. Ooh. Could feed her breast milk through the bottle and kind of just assist with that feeding process. So this time, having that experience with my first child, I was like, okay, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to be frustrated about being the only one to feed her. So I started around week 1.5. That being said, I also knew that I only wanted to feed for a shorter amount of time because I know mentally where breastfeeding took me with Harper, and I didn't want to reach that point. So I was like, I'm going to feed for the first 1.5 months. I'm going to take it month by month and kind of just see where I am mentally because I didn't want to get there again. And I know that if I was only that way with one child, I can only imagine how soon I reach that point with 2. So I knew, and I still know, that I'm only going to breastfeed for a short amount of time and just pretty much get up my stash so that I'm able to feed them or feed longer than the time that I stop. Now, if that lasts a month, if that lasts 2 weeks, I don't care, but I'm sticking to what I said, and that's kind of where I am with that. Questions? Anyone have questions in the back?
What happens to your boobs when a baby cries?
Oh, so this is actually something that Shayma used to always be so intrigued by, because whenever a baby would be crying, or my baby would be crying, it would cause my milk to drop. So like if in any vlog you see me like, ooh, or like go like this, it's because my milk just dropped and I felt it drop. And it could be because she cried or because she did something cute. The oxytocin rush is what causes the milk to drop. So if you guys see that in any video, that's probably why.
And if your milk drops, does that mean you need to pump?
If your milk drops, you don't usually feel the need to pump right away. You maybe should if you want, you know, things to keep flowing. But the thing with milk is the more you pump, the more you release the milk, the more the milk comes in. Because your body is like, okay, cool. This is what the baby needs, so let me keep producing at this rate. Which is why a lot of you guys were asking, how do you keep your supply up? the more you put the baby to the boob, the more you put the pump to the boob, the more your body is like, okay, cool, they need this much, let me start producing at this rate. That's what makes your milk supply go up. I don't care what people talk about supplements and foods and things to take. That's the key thing that does it. Now, are there foods and drinks that make your body feel more hydrated, which also in turn causes it to produce more milk? Yes. But the thing that really can take your milk supply to another level is putting the baby to the boob more, putting the pump to the boob more, and increasing that supply. It's supply and demand. If the body knows that your body needs it, it's going to be like, okay, cool, let me amp up. And I think that's why my milk has been doing what it's doing, because I literally am not taking any. Only supplement that I take is sunflower lecithin. I don't know how to say it right. Sunflower something. I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see it. But I don't take it for my supply. I take it so that my milk doesn't get too thick, or if I do randomly get engorged, it helps thin out your milk so it can come out better and you don't get mastitis or anything like that. I've taken it since I started breastfeeding, but it was because I got engorged one time with Harper, and it was just honestly the worst feeling in the world. Corey even had to help me get it out. Like, the man was literally trying to suck the milk out of my boob because it was so thick and clumpy. And it hurt so bad, which could also lead to a fever, an infection, and all these things. So I take sunflower lecithin, I think is how you say it. And they have, like, you can take 2 just for maintenance, or you can take like 4 to 6 if your milk is already super thick and you want to continue to lay it out. So I take 2 a day just for maintenance so that my milk can continue to stay, you know, how I need it to stay. But as far as supplements, that's the answer to anyone's question. I don't take any supplements. Only thing I also do is stay overhydrated. Like, I almost drink water and liquids until I'm almost about to throw up. Like, if I'm hungry, I drink more. If I feel anything, I drink more. Because your body needs that to be able to produce the milk. So,
but I think you should tell moms, well, because you told me this, that it's because, like, while you're pumping or breastfeeding, you feel thirsty.
Like,
not just,
literally,
like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I do that on the regular, but while I'm pumping and while I'm feeding, I don't know if it's just me, but I've also seen other moms say it on Instagram and such, that, like, you can literally feel your mouth, like, drying out. You felt that, right? Yes. You can literally, my cousin is in the background and she's breastfed before. You can literally feel your mouth drying out. So I think that if you can start to feel that, that's your sign that you need to hydrate even the more, especially if you're pumping, because your body needs that to be able to produce the milk. So overhydrating and basically giving your body the nutrients it needs to do that, and also to continue to increase the demand, which is bringing the baby to the pump or bringing the pump to your boob, to tell your body we need more milk. So with, not Harper, I'm already at the point where I confuse the 2 kids. With Zuri, I would breastfeed her, and then after I'm done breastfeeding her, I would bring the pump to the boob so that my body doesn't think that she's done. It thinks that, like, no, she needs more milk. So that's how I've kind of made sure my supply was doing what it needs to do. And it's not even like I've done any research on that. I just keep hearing people say, if you're trying to get a stash, pump after every feed. And that's all I've done.
Question. People talk about the pros of breastfeeding. What are some cons of breastfeeding that you would advise people that it's okay to stop when they feel like they need to? So, for me specifically, and I'll only talk to me because the mom community is like, everyone doesn't feel that way. Everyone doesn't, whatever. For me specifically, I started to feel my mental health deteriorating. I started to feel very, very postpartum ragey, which I feel like even if you don't breastfeed, you still get postpartum rage. That just kind of takes it to, like, the next level. There were certain things that were triggering, and the anxiety that kind of led to it, because, like, you know, even though I know my family meant the utmost well by, like, is there a bottle? Did you pump? Is there food? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was always kind of triggering to me, because it was like, I know you mean well, but, like,
I can only get what I can get. Like, I can't make my body produce more milk. So then anytime somebody would be like, she's hungry, did you pump? Is there milk? Like, I could literally feel my heart starting to race because I felt bad. Like, no, it's no milk. Like, I only got 2 ounces, or I only got this. And it started to make my anxiety even worse. Like, my postpartum anxiety that I already had, I feel like breastfeeding made it even worse. And then just the hormones. So people compare postpartum, not even breastfeeding postpartum, but postpartum equivalent to going through menopause. And all of the hormones that, you know, how our moms and grandparents deal with. They are equivalent on the hormone level. So you can only imagine, like, when moms start to feel crazy or feel like I'm maybe losing my mind a bit, you're not crazy by feeling that, because it's normal, because the level of hormones that are going through your body are equivalent to someone going through menopause. And sometimes it's too much. And for me, around the 6-7 month time frame, I started to feel that, but I was like, I'm sacrificing for my child and I want her to have the best health. But like, are they really having the best life if your mental health is being sacrificed? Are they really enjoying the fullness of their mom being sane if your mental health is being sacrificed? So for me, it was like by month 9, 10, which is also when we found out we were pregnant, I was like, okay, I don't want to be a raging wife and mom, and like a mom that's kind of on edge 24/7. So I'm going to stop breastfeeding and I'm going to start supplementing for the sake of my family and for the sake of myself. Because there are some kids that don't even taste breast milk a day in their life, and they are the happiest, most joyful kids, and their moms are happy and can be fully themselves to their kids. And I was like, I want that. I don't want to have to be, I'm sacrificing for my kids and then be like, something was wrong with mommy. Like, I don't know what it was. And I know, you know, later in life I may tell them, you know, I sacrificed, but I don't want them to feel like I sacrificed anything for my own mental health and my own mental sake. So when it came into going into it for the second time, I was like, okay, it's 2 of them now, which means the anxiety and everything that was like the first time is probably going to be amped up. So one thing I'm not willing to do is be like a raging mom and a depressed mom and a mom, you know, that needs all these other things to just be normal. Literally just be normal. Like, I'm not asking to be like, you know, super mom. Like, literally to just mentally be on a normal level. I'm not willing to sacrifice that for the sake of possibly giving them a few extra nutrients. Like, no. So I said I'm gonna do it. If my body produces the milk, cool. If it doesn't, cool. But I'm also gonna do it for a short amount of time and kind of just gauge where my mental health is. So I think a lot of moms, and honestly, before I started breastfeeding, I've never heard moms talk about the mental strain that comes with breastfeeding, the type of full-time job it is. I never heard people talk about that because they always say, oh, for the kids. Yeah, like, you do stuff for the kids, but at the same time, you need to be sane and, you know, live a life and have a life yourself, and do things for yourself. So, yes, I'm here to make my kids happy and do what I do. I have my kids so that I can give them a great life, but not sacrificing myself at that cost.
Just
period.
a disclaimer, I'm snapping in the background. Chef kisses.
No, but for real though, like, people really act like, oh, for the betterment of the kids. Meanwhile, mom is like on 75 different medications and crying herself to sleep. And it's like, but your kids can see that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fake for kids. I'm sorry, you cannot do that. And they eventually, when they're old enough to realize, oh, my mom did all this and now she's a freaking lunatic because she sacrificed for me. And like, that doesn't make me feel good. So I didn't want my kids to feel like that. Like they were a burden, or like I did XYZ and sacrificed myself just for them. Or hold it against them, yeah.
But I think, and we've all talked about this, that I think that our generation, or like, it's wild that we are now finding out new things or new experiences about motherhood because people
it wasn't
like
talked about.
And talk about it,
and
like,
we also they didn't have social media back then.
No.
But I also feel like back then it was like
their own communities,
right,
their own tribes. They didn't
right, and I feel
it.
like back then it was more of like who has the most perfect family, or like whose kids are doing the best thing, or like who, you know, whatever the case may be. But I think right now our generation is like, life is too short. We're not finna put up a facade. This sucks. I don't like motherhood today. Yesterday it was amazing. Today it sucks major balls. And that's just that, and that's okay. And I feel like less people feel crazy nowadays because it's like, oh, you suffer from postpartum anxiety too? Yeah, I thought my kid drowned in the bed last night too. Like, it's not crazy.
Perfectly sleeping with sound machine.
Literally sleeping with a sound machine in a perfectly, like, come in.
But I feel like
temperature monitored
Mom?
room. Come on, Mom. Hi.
Oops, and a package for delivery.
Oh. Hi, Zooty Pookie.
Get her out there.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, girl.
Mama, you're not screaming no more? Zoop has entered the chat.
Your first sit down.
Hi, Bubba Bud. Hi, Booger. What's he doing? Say hello, Mama.
Great.
You say hi. You think Mommy looks pretty? I didn't look like this morning, did I? Thank you, Mother. Hi, Booger. You look so pretty. Are you smiling? You look so pretty. She, like, 100%. You look so pretty, baby. You say hi to the video camera?
Hi, Zooty. Hi.
It's so funny how babies are so cross-eyed when they're
Let's keep closing our eyes trying to open them.
For all of you who plan on being moms, want to be moms, are moms, I challenge you to actually ask your mothers or the mother figures in your lives about their breastfeeding journey, because the fact that we've all asked now and we're finding out similar conversations to what we've had is wild.
And I feel like my mom has, like, with me, my mom was telling me, like, you know, this is how your brother was delivered versus you, or this is how, you know, we did this versus you. So for me, I had an expectation of, like, things could be different with each child.
Right.
So I think for me, it made it more easier to be like, no, with this one, I learned this and I want to do this differently. And that's just how it was. But I don't think everyone's had that experience with every different thing. So maybe just ask your mom. Because if it's multiple of you, like, I can guarantee there are things that they did different with you and versus their siblings.
Like finding out that one kid was breastfed and the other one wasn't.
Right. Because even with my brother, I think I was young when I realized that I was born via C-section. He was born vaginally. And that was something that my mom was like, I want to do this. So it also kind of encouraged me, like, I don't have to have a C-section each time. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible to be different, you know, based off of your needs. And some people want all C-sections, and that's fine. I think just knowing what's available to you and what options you have is the most important thing. And that's even with my VBAC experience. That's all I wanted to show was, like, you don't have to do anything. Like, you, because a doctor said you have to have something, that doesn't, you can find another doctor with a different opinion. So it's completely up to you and your body. You have the autonomy to decide what you want to do with your body. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Hi, Pookie.
For those who don't know, like, should you be on a schedule necessarily, or do your boobs kind of put you on a schedule? Because I know you guys are like, I have to pump, but there's also like a time.
For me, I've never been on like a this time type of schedule. I don't live that kind of life. I do think if you have a job to where you have certain times where you can pump, you can make your body be on that schedule. But for me, since I have, you know, the autonomy to be able to, like, oh, I need a pump, let me go do that real quick. Like, I'm not in a meeting or whatever. I kind of just let my body tell me. But I did, like I said, pump after every feed so that I could increase that demand. But it is possible to put your body on a schedule.
What is mastitis, or the symptoms of mastitis?
So, okay, I don't want to misquote it, and I don't want to, like, make something up. So we're going to put it on the screen.
Right.
But from what I understand, it's an infection when you're engorged. And basically anytime there's a bunch of something that doesn't need to be there, it can get infected. I do know that it causes fever. I do know that sometimes it can make your milk so hard to where it's stringy. I do know that you need antibiotics to clear it, which can then, if you're still trying to breastfeed, give the baby thrush, or the antibiotics can affect the baby in a weird way. Not every time, but it can. And I just also know that it's extremely painful because I know being engorged, I didn't have mastitis, I wasn't infected, but it was painful. Just having that much milk in your body and it can't get out. So, yeah. Are you in the camera, Pookie? Yeah. You in the camera, mamas? Hello, my baby. I love you so much. Look at her. Did you know that? I love you so much. I love you so much. I know mommy didn't look like that when we woke up this morning. But it's okay. Look at her eyebrows. She said, yeah, you didn't. I love you so much. Did you know that? And you look so pretty all the time. Even when you first wake up. And when you poo-poo everywhere. You're still the prettiest baby everywhere. You and your sister. Because you got dookie booties.
Are you done?
You know they do.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Pootie Cake.
Don't catch me speaking about my babies right
I know.
Okay. Does breastfeeding hurt?
It does not hurt. Okay, so when you let me rephrase. It does not hurt. When you, as with anything, when you break something in and it feels something that it hasn't felt in a long time, it hurts. Mm. So those first week or two or maybe even 3 if you're stretching it, your nipples maybe can feel like they're bleeding.
That hurts.
Right. But after that, it should not hurt because the way that the baby latches, the nipple should be in the back of their throat.
Correct. But also note that the second and the third kid initially hurts a little bit more.
Yeah.
Every kid's latches.
Right. And yes, that too. Well, yeah.
So, the answer is
in just the very beginning.
Right, but I don't want people to think that it should continue to hurt because as you do it, it should start to feel more and more normal and with the latch being proper.
So your
nipples can hurt because
you are contracting while breastfeeding in the beginning months.
Yes.
Correct.
And each kid, your contractions while breastfeeding get a little bit more intense.
But that's literally only like the first couple of days. As your body, your organs are going back to normal.
I love you.
Okay.
Right. So.
Or if, and on our kid, we've learned this, tongue tie. I don't know.
Tongue tie. You're right. Okay, so you're right. But you know.
It's all situational.
It's all, exactly. So yes. So with Harper, she had a tongue tie right away.
Right.
My nipples felt like they were being mangled. Completely mangled. After she got the tongue tie addressed in the hospital before we left, so this was like day 2, it did not hurt as bad, but my boobs had never been breastfed before. You know what I mean? Like they've never been sucked like that. Okay, wait a second. Okay. They have never been. They have never been mangled. Should I?
I just got kicked off YouTube.
They have never been mangled. Sorry, Mama. Those are your ears.
Why are you telling her that?
Hey, okay.
Zuni say ill. Oh.
Sorry, we're going to tell you all the stuff.
Throw up, Mama. Throw up.
My boobs have never been mangled like that before, so it hurt. But after her tongue tie was fixed and after we got her the correct latch, it did not hurt anymore. With Zuzu, I knew how to latch her properly and she did not have a tongue tie. So it didn't hurt bad. It just was the initial like, oh, it's been a while since I breastfed before, so this doesn't feel really comfortable. Talk to a lactation consultant and just like make sure your situation is what it should be, or if something could be tweaked to make you more comfortable. But it should not hurt long term, should I say. Long term breastfeeding should not hurt.
Great. Yeah.
Are we good? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Right here in the back.
Go ahead.
She passed me the mic. So.
Are you kidding me?
So my question is, what is something or some things that the husband or significant other could do to help while the mom is breastfeeding?
So, one of the things is if you have to wake up in the middle of the night to feed, him changing the baby, or basically doing everything that doesn't involve the feeding part. Because I know with Harper, we were new parents, and for a long period of time, Corey was like, I just feel useless. I just feel like there's nothing I can do to help. Like, I can't feed her. Like, I can't bond with her in that way. Whatever. So it was really, really frustrating. But I think as times... Piss off.
He was crying.
He was crying.
Oh, crying.
He was really
Your
frustrated.
mother hated you?
He did. He said, she doesn't even like me.
You did say that.
You did say that.
Exactly.
And now she
So
literally-
he felt very useless. And I think as time went on, he found things that he could do to assist, whether it be I'll change her and do, everything. So all I have to do is bring the baby to you to feed. And then just making sure, like, as those times, like, if you start bottle feeding, making sure that the significant other gets those feeding times, especially since, like, they see you breastfeeding. So, like, they need to feel that same level of connection. And then there's also the washing the pump parts, or, like, doing different things to just aid in that process. Preparing. My husband doesn't prepare, but he will hand me my food. He will hand me the food. Hand me the food to make sure that I'm eating, or like whatever, throughout the process of breastfeeding. But there are a million other things, and as you become parents, you will see that the feeding is not the only thing. There are a million other things that they can do to be just as necessary and needed to not only you but the child as well. Good question, babe.
What are ways? Because I feel like I have this question for like each category of motherhood, but in the breastfeeding scenario, what are ways that like your tribe cannot be triggering? Because obviously we know us asking like, did you pump and stuff? I think for us it's like because we want to assist.
Right.
So like, did you pump so I can take a bottle and go feed the baby so you can do whatever?
I think
like,
that for one,
what kind
being
of
the
questions?
mom, one thing that has helped is preparing bottles ahead of time and leaving them in the fridge so that if whoever has her, there is an available bottle. Being that I know that that's something that triggers me, something that I know that has helped is having at least one prepared bottle in the fridge so that if stuff does hit the fan, or if I'm not available, or if I'm just overstimulated and I need a second, someone can take the baby and feed her and do whatever. I think another thing is making sure that if you are trying to feed the baby, asking the mom or saying, is it okay if I defrost this milk? Because we're moms and we pump in every single milliounce, like we know in our head how, like, it takes so much work and it's so hard. We know how much milk. So like, even if you think you're doing the right thing by going in the fridge and defrosting some milk, the mom could go in the fridge and be like, it's one missing in here. Who did what? And I calculated it, and I knew it. So like, I think because of how motherhood is and how hard things are, just making sure that they're aware, and even just saying like, I want to make this easier for you, so is it okay if I blah 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 blah? Cool. Like, thank you for saying something. At least I know when I open the freezer it's gonna be one missing, but it's because that you were trying to assist me. I think being vocal but also kind of taking action at the same time is like hand in hand with a mom, because we don't like asking for the help and we don't like feeling like a burden. So saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm just making sure it's okay with you. I'm gonna do this, but is it okay with you, and are you good with that? I think kind of gauging how to play between those two is the best thing you can do with a mom, because again, we hate feeling like we're throwing our stuff off onto other people. Like, this is my child, this is my family, I signed up for this, as the TikTok moms would say, I signed up for this. So you don't want to make other people feel obligated or like they have to help you, because they don't, because this is your life, this is your child that you had. But your tribe does want to be there. So I think just playing those hand in hand and knowing that we don't want to feel like a burden to you, and we know that, either you don't have kids or this is not your kid. So like, figuring that out and knowing that like they just want to help is huge. I think for me, I've had a lot of accepting to like like they don't feel obligated. So like let them do what they want to do. It's hard, but you can do it. And that's if you have the tribe. I've seen a lot of TikTok videos of people saying like, you know, I don't have this village that people speak of. And I would still say don't be discouraged. Maybe put yourself out there a little bit more. Maybe find the mom networking groups in your community, because I have seen that there are a lot of them in different communities of a lot of moms that feel alone, whether it be Facebook groups or I think Peanut is the app where you can find moms in your area that are in the same boat and going through the same things, because sometimes it could even feel better to just talk to somebody in the same boat, and that could relieve more pressure than getting any amount of help would do. Just seeing that I'm not the only one that feels this way can help a lot. So I think just not feeling discouraged if you don't have the tribe,
and if you've already had your kid, still joining the due date group from your kid's due date, because
right,
they talk still.
Right. So like even with Zuri, I still joined the due date group for her, because even though I've been pregnant before, even though I know, you know, what was coming and, you know, what being pregnant was like, it was still like, okay, there are other people who are in the same exact stage as me. And I still am in Harper's due date group, because they're like, these kids is 18 months and they going crazy. Anybody else in the same boat? And I'm like, you know what? Yes. Help. Please help me. But it just helps to know other people are in the same boat, whether it's one person or 100. It still feels good to know you're not the only one that feels the way you do. So if you don't have a village, if you don't have a tribe, join those due date groups. Download Peanut, see what that's about. I've never been on it, but I've heard really good things.
Follow the Instagram accounts we've put below.
Follow the Instagram accounts below, because they also help with parenting tips, feeding tips, making you feel less alone. I follow this page called Big Little Feelings.
Mondays.
And their Monday meltdown post makes me feel more seen than I've ever felt in my entire life. Because it's like, why did your toddler have a meltdown today? And it's like, because I didn't let them smear peanut butter all over the car. And I'm just like, Harper did something similar to that. And I thought I was losing it, and I thought I was a terrible parent. You see other people who are in the same boat, and it helps more than you would ever know. If you don't have the village, there are other outlets. And if you guys want me to do a specific video for the moms who don't have villages, I will literally do the research myself and find you guys different ways to meet other moms.
Y'all should do it together.
As well.
Are you have a village though? Are you done?
But I'm still a single mom.
And she's
You
still
are. You do, okay. But you do have a village.
I do. I'm appreciative.
But it's be people like in cities who like, I don't know anybody.
I just moved here with my husband.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah,
Like, or like I'm a military mom. I don't know nobody.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I can't even imagine that. But I will literally do the research.
That's
Me and the team will do. Right. Well, we going to listen. Y'all all coming. Anyways, me and the team will literally do research on finding ways to find you guys resources and things that will help, if that helps at all. You know, it's just something for us to try.
In wrapping up this video, name 3 brands that have amazing nursing bras.
Ooh, Amazon, Blanky, Kindred, and Bravely. Kindred, I just tried them for the first time last week, and they are running #1 right now. Because they have sports bras, and they hold you up like sports bras.
She don't even know when she's supposed to pump, y'all.
Listen, I don't even be knowing when it's time to pump. Because, you know, typically you can feel when they're getting heavy. Their bras are so supportive and not uncomfortable to where you don't even know when you're supposed to pump or feed. Because they have the nursing option, and then they also have the pumping option. And the pumping option, the hole is big enough to get the flange through. I have found too many sports bras, or too many bras, nursing bras, or pumping bras, that the flange doesn't even fit through, and it's like, why are we even doing this?
Pause.
So I've had to cut them with scissors to make it big enough for the flange to go through to pump.
Yes, a nursing bra is where you can just unsnap and nurse your child. A pumping bra has a slit that you can place the thing, and people, I didn't know that.
Good job.
This round.
Good job, babe.
No problem, guys. Get my nursing
So yes, Amazon, Blinky, Kindred, and Bravely being number 1, Amazon being number 2, Blinky being number 3. Bree.
4th would be
And
Motherhood.
lastly, if you're not like physically pumping on the boob, not pumping on the, if
Mm-hmm.
you're not physically breastfeeding on the boob,
Mhm.
what pumps do you suggest people use?
I like the Spectra pump. I like LV, and I like the hand pump by Lanosa.
We'll put it
on
up.
the screen.
We'll put it on the screen.
that
We
one
all say
and
different names.
Phillips.
Oh, Philips Advent hand pump is really good too.
Yes.
I actually wore mine completely out to where it broke because I used it so much. But they're great. That's how you know I used it out.
The last tip that I think you should leave the world with is that when you're putting your milk from the bottle into the bag, it's different numbers. I don't know how to say.
Oh, okay. Yes. So when you take your milk out of the pump, measure it before you take it out of the container, because when you put it in the bag, it often gives you a different number, and anything off pisses a mom off. 4. Give me 4. 4. Give me 4. Can I get one more in each? 5. Give me 5. All right. This is the actual number. So this is 5. This is 4.5. When you put it in the bag, it's not going to say that. So let me do this for y'all. It's going to make you think it's 6, and it ain't 6. So then when you pour it in the thing, you're going to be mad. Because you're going to think it's 6 ounces, and it's not 6 ounces. So, and then of course take all the air out. People say don't make bubbles. I don't have time for that. The milk is the milk. And now I'm going to write it on the thing. So,
the number is the bottle number.
The bottle number, not the bag number, because the bag is flimsy and can do whatever it needs to do to make it make sense. Also, when you defrost milk, do not mix it with boiled water. And do never microwave breast milk either. You will literally boil out the nutrients in the whole point of breastfeeding. So that's all I have to say. If you guys have any additional questions or want more videos, like chit chat type videos like this, leave them in the comments below. Leave the topics or any additional questions to breastfeeding, and we'll do a part 2 or anything of that nature. I love you guys. Make sure you guys are following on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We're trying to grow TikTok, so if you guys are here and you're not following me on TikTok, please go do that. I think that's it. I love you guys. Peace out.